Welcome, Facebook. I'm G, your host of Queer Conversations. I'm here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. EST on this page, Vera GTV. And today, it's a little different. I always have a guest, and I share LGBTQ stories. And today, my guest is me. I'm solo, and you can ask me any questions. In fact, definitely ask me questions. I am pretty much very big on visibility, and I'm very big on sharing my life. If you have any questions, suggestions, anything, I'm open to it. Okay, so let me start off with a little bit about myself. So I go by G, and I'm an LGBTQ advocate. But before that, I live, I'm going to say, a very different life. I was married to a man. Many people in the community know him. That's artist, photographer, event planner, David Muir. Happened to be in the studio. He helps me a lot with a lot of things that I'm working on, including The Art Woman. And had a wonderful 17-year marriage and family, children, and everything. I have 2 sons. And in fact, one of my sons, my 17-year-old, let me get a little more comfortable. My 17-year-old, who's here some weeks. Hey, thanks for joining. Thank you everyone for joining. Please, hey Paula, please share this video and ask questions. I'm here solo, I'm here by myself, so you are co-host with me today. So I would say my 17-year-old, he's here sometime when I'm going live, and he likes to see me, I guess, going live with guests. But he was like, Mommy, why don't you 1 week go live by yourself? And I had planned to do it a couple weeks ago, and then someone popped up who really needed a space to share their story. They had an upcoming event, so I said, oh, let me have her come on. Did that. And then I had a little space. I didn't have a guest for today, and I was like, instead of pushing for a guest, maybe this is the perfect time for me to go live. Solo. Okay, so Paula says, hey, I've been so busy traveling and glad I finally caught up. How are you? I am doing great. How are you, Paula? I'm glad you've been traveling. I just got back from a pretty interesting trip myself. I was in Louisiana. No, I wasn't. I was in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to the American Bar Association Fall Leadership Meeting. I'm part of planning the ABA LGBT Forum, so I just got back not too long ago. Hello, Karen. Thanks for joining. Long time no see. So I'm going to share a lot of different things about what I'm doing. Interrupt me, ask questions anytime. So as an LGBT advocate, let me also say LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bisexual, T, transgender, Q, queer. This is the community that I'm a part of. I did have a challenging journey to get to this community. So I was, for a long time, homophobic. Some people in my life knew me as a homophobic person, meaning I was feeling that to be gay was wrong. And after a very long journey, I've written about it, several places. I've written about it at my veragtv.com. I also wrote about it for Island Original Magazine. I got David in the background here. He may drop the link for that article if you want to read more about me. Tuning in from Kansas City. I think I might not have been too far from you are, where you are. Okay, good. Thank you. So yeah, so David might put an article there. If not, we'll see it at some point. If you want to learn more about me and my journey. And so pretty much after I just recognized myself as a lesbian, accepted myself as a lesbian, decided to live completely openly, gay, openly member of the LGBTQ community, I started doing a lot of things in advocacy. And one of the main things I started doing was an event called The Art Woman, which has grown tremendously. So we'll go back to summer of 2014. Myself, my friends, Nick and PJ, big up Nick and PJ, we organized this event called The Art Woman. It's in the 1310 Gallery in Fort Lauderdale, where I'm sitting right now, and had an open mic night, and maybe 40, 50 women came out. It was spectacular. People said have it every month. I felt like, wow, that's a lot, but we could keep doing it maybe a couple times a year. So it grew from 50 to 100 to into the hundreds. We did it at the 1310 Gallery for several occasions. And let me thank everybody who's been coming out, everybody who's been a part of it, our sponsors, people have been giving us grants. It's been amazing. Thank you. We're very, very grateful. So we left the 1310 Gallery When did we leave? We left in 2000, just last summer. I think we had one, right. And then we went to Art Serve, big up Art Serve, and they hosted us November 2017 and then March. We outgrew there. So we decided we would go with, instead of a couple of times a year doing the event, we would have a weekend. So I see the link right here, thouartwoman.com. You can go right there to that link, RSVP. It's March 1st to 3rd. It's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. Should I explain the whole weekend? I'm going to explain the whole weekend. So Friday night, March 1st, is going to be artists with audience, or audience with artists. And it's going to be, we're going to be doing a curating and full-on LGBTQ woman art show. So please stay tuned for seeing the call for artists. We want all the lesbians, the queer women, and anybody who has art that speaks to our community to participate. And we're going to have a beautiful art show, and you all will come out, mix, mingle, and meet the artists. Saturday is our big, big performance night. It's our open mic night. We're going to have feature performers. We're going to have, I'll share about the performers another time, but if you know anybody, and we're especially looking for people, I know the people in Florida. If you know people outside of Florida, it doesn't matter where they are in the world. If they're outstanding spoken word artists, poets, singers, and so on, you could put it here. You could message me. You could go to The Art Woman. Please follow The Art Woman on Instagram and Facebook. But let me know in some way. Let us know if you know of anybody, it might be you, who can perform March 2nd. That's going to be at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. So we went from 1310 Gallery to Art Serve, and now we're in the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. And on Sunday, March 3rd, we're going to be at having our wind down. It's going to be called Brunch with Us. We're going to have a wonderful afternoon as our closing event. So art show, performing art show, brunch, and that's March. Whew, that is a lot. Any questions? Any questions? Please, please ask some questions. I could go on, and I'm actually going to, but I'll be patient and ask for some questions. Any questions? Anybody? Okay, so I love it to be a conversation. I'm talking to you, and that's good, but if you have questions, that's great. So that was about the weekend. I can tell you what else is going on. We're going to have a beautiful mixer. We want any woman who loves women to come on November 1st to the Vanguard. The Vanguard's in Fort Lauderdale. There's actually an Eventbrite link that we're going to put up right now. And that's going to be a lovely evening to network, to flirt, and we're going to talk about a lot of different things that we're going to be working on. So some of you may have seen a couple episodes ago. I had Nicole Stoddard, big up Nicole Stoddard, and the whole Thinking Cap Theater crew from the Vanguard. We're going to be working together on a lot of things. So that event, November 1st, is an event you definitely don't want to miss. We're really going with, yes, the details are in the links. Thank you very much. So we're going with the Eventbrite. You can get your tickets. It's $10 in Eventbrite. We did it just very nominal price to come. And if you come to the door, it's going to be $15. So I would say, please get your tickets here and spread the word. We want it to be women from anywhere in South Florida to come on and enjoy. That's the thing, you know, the last Art Woman was March. So we've had a little space, and we're waiting for the next one in March. So in between, it's good to have this really nice event. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I want for people to be kind of like surprised about some of the things that take place. Oh, a question! Ding, ding, ding! How did you progress from a traditional law practice to LGBT advocacy to event planning? Okay, I'll start off with that. My event planning is a part of my LGBTQ advocacy because my events are all surrounding creating spaces for LGBTQ folks, mostly women. So from a traditional law practice, this is a good question. Thank you. So yeah, so I practiced full-time as a lawyer from 1999 to 2016. And actually, while I was at my most recent traditional job, I started working at The Art Woman. So working on The Art Woman. So I actually was just telling somebody that the first couple of The Art Woman events, I actually went to my job worked most of the day, took off at about 4, came downtown to Fort Lauderdale, and we did the show. So for many occasions, I was actually still working a traditional job. And in 2016, for a number of reasons, I decided I didn't want to work a traditional full-time job. So I still practice a little bit of law, but I'm putting a lot more energy into producing Thou Art Woman and doing other things in the LGBTQ community. Okay, so I want to speak to the people who are saying they're in South Jersey. Someone said they're in Missouri. This is going to be great for you. Now that you know that there's a weekend in March in Fort Lauderdale, you should book your tickets. The event is Friday, March 1st to March 3rd, and it's going to be fabulous. You're going to be in Fort Lauderdale. Where you live is probably going to be freezing. Think about it, right? You want to come down here, enjoy the show, mix and mingle. If you want to flirt, and just feel connected to this beautiful community. If you have people in your community or anywhere really, you might have friends from different cities and states, you want to let them know to come here. Part of why we made it a weekend was to make it welcoming to women from all over the country and world. So you can now make your plans and look, oh, maybe you want to come in the Thursday night and leave the Sunday night, or come in the Friday morning and leave the Sunday or Monday. With everything that's taking place for Thou Art Woman is going to be in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We're going to be in Fort Lauderdale proper the whole weekend. We're actually in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And everywhere downtown, we're about 10 to 15 minutes from the beach, right? And as Cindy said here, the water is very warm. So it's a great place to be. So you'll have beautiful women, talented women. You know, the open mic is part of what really helped grow Thou Art Woman. It's a space where people are talented, right? But everybody doesn't have to be the booming, like, profound performer. People just really have this space that they can share their soul, their talents, and everybody is welcome to perform. We're going to have issues with space. So when I say everybody, it doesn't mean everybody in the audience can perform it, meaning we're not saying, oh, if you're not the best poet, you're not hitting the stage. We want people to feel that they have a space that they can share their poetry. We have people who never performed before and have performed at Thou Art Woman. Some of those people have gone on to be professional poets and performers. We have people, someone like myself. I may write poetry. I don't plan to be a poet, but I may read a poem. There are many people like that who you like to write. You write for leisure. You write to, express your thoughts and your soul, and people like that can perform. So you don't have to be a professional poet to perform during our open mic segment. Let me drink some water. Where's my water? Oh, here it is. I'll sip some water. You guys can come up with some more questions for me. Ah, pardon me. Okay. Yeah, the thing about not having somebody else is I'm talking the whole 30 minutes. Usually someone else is helping me with the talking. So this is a lot of talking here. And I like to talk, but it is a lot. So I'll talk a little bit about what's happening and in the LGBTQ women community. I know it's not unique to Florida or Fort Lauderdale, but we don't have a lot of spaces for us to connect, for us to be ourselves. So that's part of really what moved me and inspires me to keep doing programming in the community. I love to plan and I love to organize. I thought back, I just took a shower. I take a shower every time before I go live. I don't want you guys to think I don't smell nice, right? So this is a part of my routine. I always shower before my show. And I was thinking my dad, who's now gone, long time, 10, 11 years. He's a major impact and influence in my life, but I used to follow him around to wherever he was going. And he did a lot of public speaking. And I was at a graduation when he was speaking, and I was bored to tears. And I usually, 50% of the time I followed my dad somewhere, I would regret that I was going. There was no cell phone to check anything. It was just me, nothing else, and my thoughts and watching him in an adult space. And I would regret going, but I would always say yes, because I liked hanging out with my dad. So anyway, we're at a graduation. I was about 15 years old, and he's a keynote speaker, the graduation speaker. And he said something that struck me and always stuck with me. And it was saying to the people there that you're not going to find everything that you need. When you graduate, there's going to be some things that don't exist. There's going to be some jobs that don't exist. And that you have to create the things for yourself and your community. So that stuck with me, and different parts of my life I did that. When I was in college, we noticed, big up Angela, best friend from college, we noticed there was one DJ. And I was doing college radio. I was a disc jockey. My show was Vibes, a reggae show. And we saw that there was a void of DJs. So we started DJing parties. So when I came out as openly gay and saw that there really wasn't a lot of things for women to do, there was a lot of more party scene, which is great. It's good to party and have fun, but it wasn't like something where we could mix and mingle and talk and share our art and so on, poetry, just a little more, kind of more, some parts of it sophisticated, but also just like a place where you could actually talk to people and connect at another level and be entertained. So that's part of what led me to Thou Art Woman, was like there wasn't this space, there was this void of what do I do now? I used to be, you know, married to a man and mommy, and I'm still a mom, but my responsibilities changed as my kids got older. So it was like I would go to some of the parties, and I partied a lot as a teenager. So now here I was like in my 30s, and I was like, I want something different. So I created it. And I am called to keep doing this, and it's growing. And sometimes I'm like, why am I doing all of this? I'm just called to doing it, and I need to do it. And I love doing it. And then I feel good about how people appreciate the space. Tons of women have thanked me. People love the space. It was a difficult decision to make it be annual, but felt annual would be great. We will do some events in between, like we have the event November 1st. So, yeah. So I'm going to pause a little bit again because I need to take a breath. Let me drink some water. Where's my son? My son, Cairo. He said, Mommy, go by yourself. So I'm doing it, but it's a lot of talking. I need more questions, but let me drink my water. The last comment I see is from Cindy Shaw. Is there any more questions below that? Because I don't want to touch my phone. Mm-hmm. There is? Why is it? It's not popping up.
No, I mean, but there's nothing, no question or anything. So.
Okay. Thanks for your patience, everyone. And thank you for joining. I'm here. I'm just going to slow down my pace because I'm exhausting myself. You know, David is back here. You know, thank you. Any question is helpful. Any questions? I'm gonna keep drinking though, but every question is helpful. I'm gonna say, okay. So here's a question from Cindy: do you prefer bow ties or long ties? That's a great question. I prefer, I think, an everyday type vibe, what I call straight ties, what you call long ties. I prefer the long ties. For like an everyday vibe. When I feel, I thought so many people said they were going to tune in. I got so many likes, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And I'm enjoying, and I'm appreciative, but I thought there would be more questions. And I said, I'm an open book. You could ask me anything. So, yeah. So like everyday life, I prefer a straight tie. A bow tie, I feel a little more handsome. I feel a little more dressy. But I wouldn't want to wear a bow tie like every day or every weekend. But I can wear a straight tie every day or every weekend. You know, so. Yeah, so, excuse me. So since I thought, I was like, oh, this is me going by myself. It's like extra special guest. Hello. And I chose purple. Purple is like, I feel a very royal color. I had a very deep and loving relationship with Prince in my teenage years, and his favorite color is purple. My 17-year-old loves purple as well. So I was like, let me go with purple. And so that's the whole theme I have here going on. So yeah. No questions from you, David? Okay, let me see what else I have to share. Do I talk more about, I don't want to share that much about the November 1st event. Do I need to share any more about it? I want people to I want an element of surprise. Do you feel, everybody, that you put the Eventbrite link? Yeah, you did. Do you feel that you know enough about the November 1st? Do you feel driven to come out and enjoy it? We want it to be just like buzzing with beautiful women, people like just enjoying networking and We're going to be telling you guys about what we're going to be doing and creating more. I mean, in the end, we're like creating more opportunities for women to be together, for women to connect. And that's one of the goals of the Art Woman, is creating spaces for our community. You know, there was a bar here, G-Spot, and it lasted just a year, you know. And big up to Lisette for pushing and working on doing that, because we need that. But it's hard to sustain. It wasn't sustainable. And before that, there was somewhere, I think it was New Moon. And that was many, many years, but it didn't last either. So it's really challenging. We don't have a lot of spaces. And I was saying earlier, that's not unique to Florida. There's something happening throughout the country and throughout the world that women don't really have enough spaces. And part of it, I've had guests and we've talked about it, we've analyzed it, and there's many different factors. One is that not every woman wants to go to a bar, right? And not every woman wants to go to a bar every weekend. And that women, we are oftentimes moms. And with being a mom, you may have to get babysitting, and also challenges sometimes financially. Not everybody has the money to go out every weekend. So it's really challenging to have spaces for women. And I'll take a moment and big up the women who are doing work in the community, like creating events. There's Carla Remington, who does events at Cloud9. There's Ignite Women of South Florida. Big up Emily and Gabby. They do a first and second Thursday of the month. They're going to be partnering with us on the November 1st. So their first Thursday in November will be at our place, which is at the Vanguard. Who else is Sophia Tingle is doing events in Miami. I just met with Jackie in Miami, who's doing She Life events. And so there's maybe 10, 12 of us who are working really hard to bring events. And we're loving the work, but it's work, you know. Hey, darling, thanks for joining. Ask me a question, because I'm here, I'm doing a monologue. That's a good question. Thank you. I'm doing a monologue, but I want to have a conversation. Queer conversations, not queer monologues, queer conversations. Okay. Why did you decide to do advocacy? What's the long-term vision? You know what's funny? That's a great question, David. I'm appreciating all these inquiries. But this is it. I didn't even sit down and think I was going to be an advocate. I really was like, the first thing was, I want to create the Art Woman. I want to create a space. And then I think because I've been a lawyer since I was in my very young 20s, there's a part of my, and I think that's part of my personality. Like, even if I didn't go to law school and practice law, I think it's a part of my personality that I want to advocate for what's right. Once again, I'm influenced a lot by both my parents. My dad in particular did a lot of work in the community and advocated for others who didn't have the same kind of privilege and voice as him. So I would say it started with the Art Woman, and then my pal Nick got me into HRC, which is a human rights campaign. So I started doing that. And then the American Bar Association, they appointed me to the Commission of Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity, the SOJA Commission. And then they asked me to program the LGBT forum. So I think, like, once I opened up to, I'm going to be creating spaces, I'm going to be doing programming. That's how it came. It just came to fruition in that way. What's the long-term vision? The long-term vision, I can say, for Thou Art Woman is that it's going to be a massive, that 3-day weekend that we're starting this March 1st to 3rd, it's going to be growing, and it's going to be continue to be beautiful and growing, I believe, to be something that every woman who loves women, will know about the Art Woman, and they'll be trying to make their way to Fort Lauderdale every single March. So that's for the Art Woman. Let's see. Were you involved in any of the advocacy work before knowing or coming out? Yes, I was. I always have been. Like I said, I think it's just part of my personality. And one of my friends, a big up Sonia Morgan, she edits a lot of my writing. She was saying, like, wow, what you were doing in the legal community, some of it you like just transferred some of those kind of like that energy into the gay community. So I was president of the TJ Reddick Bar Association, which is a black bar association of Broward County. And we did a lot of work in the community, a lot of work. I was also part of the Florida Bar Young Lawyers Division Board of Governors. So I've always been involved in advocacy work. I'm thinking like before being a lawyer, I'm not sure. I've always been active because I remember even in college, I was part of the Black Students Union. When I was in law school, I was in the BALSA, Black Law Students Association. So always involved. Okay, what's the best word for us to spread the best way for us to spread the word? Thank you for the question. Okay, I would say everybody make sure you share it on your social media spaces. Everybody has Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Tell people why you think they should come. Hey, this is a beautiful event. This event meant this to me. I love it for these reasons. Please come. So ask your friends, share on your social media platforms. I missed the question. Cindy said something here about advertisers or something. It went, I don't want to touch the screen. I'm scared. Hey, Carlene, thanks for joining. I've been here all by myself. No, I've had people watching and asking questions, and I appreciate it. Thank you for all the questions. Oh, man. Silky, thanks for joining. That's Joanne.
Sponsors to provide accommodations for some of your incoming guests for the man.
Yes, we need sponsors for sure. The RSVP page for The Art Woman, which is at thouartwoman.com. When you go there, there is a place where you can check to see. There's a place where you can check to say, I want to be a sponsor, I want to be a performer, and so on. So you can do that. So I think Cindy's trying to clarify. She's not asking about advertisers. She's asking about accommodations, places to stay. Yeah, right now we're actually working on, right, David? We're working on finding accommodations that we're going to say, this is our host hotel. So stay tuned for information on who our actual host hotel is. And I'm just telling everybody again about our weekend, March 1st to 3rd in Fort Lauderdale. Carlene, I hope you can make it. I know you're in Jamaica. I hope you can fly up here. Rich, thanks for joining. Everybody, thank you for joining. Let me sip some more of my water. Will I be performing at The Art Woman? Thank you, Darlene. Great question. I will be a co-host at the performance night on March 2nd. Friday night, I probably just like to say good evening to everybody and tell everybody to enjoy themselves. Sunday, I would like someone else to host because I know after I use all my adrenaline and energy on Saturday night, I don't really want to be the host on Sunday. And people probably like to hear from somebody else, right? So between that balance, I would like someone else to host the Sunday brunch or somebody else's. So one or two women. And I said earlier, if you know performers who, queer women, LGBTQ women, lesbians, who are outstanding, let us know about them because we have some Florida performers set already, but we need some people. I want women from across the country or even the world to be a part of the show. Okay, the next date for the The Art Woman, Carlene, is March 1st to 3rd. It's going to be that Friday to the Sunday. Friday is an art show, mix and mingle. Saturday is performing arts at the Broward Center for the Performing Arts, and Sunday is a brunch. So you could come in on the Thursday evening and head out Sunday or come Friday morning. Yes, yes, please come. So tickets will be on sale December 1st. And I'm going to tell people, I'm going to urge people, when tickets go for sale, please buy them. Do not wait till January and February because we're going to be advertising to the world. Okay? That sounds like a lot, but we're going to be advertising very broadly. So I want, especially for the people there are people here who have never come, I want you to be here. But the people who've been coming all the years, I don't want tickets to be sold out and you can't get in. Like, that would be heartbreaking for me. So I'm asking people, if you know you're going to come March 1st and 3rd, when you see tickets go for sale in December, please buy them. We're going to have different packages, right? We're going to have different packages for people to purchase. It's going to be VIP. You can purchase for the whole weekend. And we're also keeping prices very reasonable, okay? We don't want to price out people. So, yes. Any other questions? I think I got a few more minutes here, or maybe a minute. I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping this baby up. Yeah, well, I'll wrap up. Can you get? Okay, so I guess I should treat myself like I treat all of my guests. I tell everybody that I'm going to be asking them what I call queer conversation closing questions. Oh, okay, someone just joining. Okay, Annalicia Pablo, thank you for joining. I'm the producer and host of Thou Art Woman, in addition to the show you're watching, Queer Conversations. But Thou Art Woman is a weekend for women who love women and art. It's in Fort Lauderdale. The event's going to be March 1st to 3rd, 2019. It's going to be all in downtown Fort Lauderdale, which is only 10, 12 minutes from the beach. There's a website, thouartwoman.com, that has been shared here. There's a page, Instagram and Facebook. Please follow and please like. And I like this question, Cindy. Will I be dancing at the next Thou Art Woman? I don't really ever plan to dance, but I have ended up dancing at many Thou Art Woman events. So that's just like, let's see what happens. Because I know the last one, something hit me, and me and Nick were doing like a kid and play dance, which I don't know how to do, but somehow we did it okay. Nick can dance. I'm not necessarily the best dancer, but it came off really well. I think people like to laugh at me dancing, and that works. Let's see here. Yes, Annalisa. So thanks for joining. So I'm going to close the show with queer conversation closing questions. What's the first question? I have to ask myself the question. What's inspiring? What inspires you? What inspires me, I'm going to say, is passion for creating change. That's what inspires me. I love to see that in people. People who want to create positive change in the community and the world. Oh man, what makes me laugh? What makes me laugh? My exie back there, he raised his hand. He definitely makes me laugh all the time. And I also like laughing at myself. I am someone, when people make jokes about me, those are some of my favorite jokes. I'm fine that I can't dance or that this is that. When I was in Kentucky, I did a picture. I was at the Kentucky Derby Museum, and they had like something you could press to take a picture. It looks like there are horses behind you. And I was smiling for someone and said, I'll do serious. I'm going to do sexy. And I sent it to my exie, David. And I was like, what do you think about this? Like, I thought it was sexy. And he was like, I don't know if I want to say what he said, but he made me laugh because it was like, that picture is not sexy at all. So, okay, then that's what makes me laugh. What's sexy? I love really, there was someone who was on the show who said this kind of thing and I related to it. Like, really feminine woman. So I'm going to say ultra feminine woman. Sometimes I feel like, oh man, I feel like it's like the Barbie doll. And I wonder like, why am I so attracted to a woman that's like that? But I accept it. So very feminine women are sexy to me. And I see a question here. What keeps you going? You know, it's just, that's a great question too, because sometimes I wonder that myself. I have a lot of energy, and I think it's just like, it's not something that I have like this conscious decision to do. It's just like, it's called drive. I'm just driven to do it. Sometimes it's exhausting, but I'm also excited by it and I really love it. And, you know, I'm like determined to live a life that I can be myself, because that's one thing that for many years I couldn't be openly gay. And as you can tell, I'm very excited to be openly gay and probably exaggerated as a personality and person because I'm like, oof. So I just feel this excitement and drive to be myself, to help people be themselves, to create these spaces. And I sleep really well because I use a lot of, you can tell I use a lot of energy. So yeah, what keeps me going is this inherent drive. And then my last question is, what's so great about being queer? And I'm going to say just being able to be myself, not worrying about what people think. I'm going to shout out David one more time because he helped me probably more than anybody else about just accepting myself. And people think that's odd, like, why would your husband at the time help you? But it's something that's the greatest thing, is when you could love somebody, but you're like, I want what's best for you, not what's best for me in this. So I'll big him up because he's primary, like, in helping me to accept being gay, not thinking anything's wrong with it, and really accepting being myself and living my authentic life, which was a massive journey. Read the story. It's in there. Read that. I could go on for 16 hours just like this about it, but that would be exhausting for all of us. So thank you for joining me. Please join me every Tuesday, 6 p.m. EST, right here on Verity TV. Please like all those Darwin spaces. If you are in Fort Lauderdale, come November 1st. We're going to create a Facebook event. And wherever in the world you are, plan to join us at Thou Art Woman for the first weekend of March 1st through 3rd. Thank you so much, everyone.